Aloha, y'all. It is Wednesday, Woden's Day, hence the name. The 9th, I believe, of March 9th. It is a beautiful day here in Costa Rica. A little humid, but I'll get by. The sun is in Pisces, the moon is in Gemini, where my natal moon is. Mercury's in Aquarius. For the last minutes, 29, I should probably say the degree a minute. Sun is in 18 degree Pisces, moon is in 8 degree Gemini, Mercury is at 29 degree Aquarius, Venus and Mars are conjunct at 2 degree Aquarius, Jupiter's at 15 degree Pisces, conjunct the sun, Saturn's at 19 degrees Aquarius, Uranus is at 11 degrees Taurus, Neptune's at 22 degrees Pisces, which is getting close to conjunct, it's within 4 degree orb of the sun. Pluto's in 27 degrees Capricorn, and the North Node is at 24 degrees Taurus. So today is a Muladhara chakra day. The solar plexus, your gut, right behind your navel. This is about your willpower, right? It's below the ribs. It's about wisdom. Keywords are wisdom, clarity, and self-esteem. Positive aspects are confidence, alertness, optimism, good humor. Negative aspects are feelings of inferiority, over-analytical, sarcastic, and pessimistic. The mantra is Ram, R-A-M, Ram. And you would do that in the key of E. Spiritual activities include leadership programs, psychotherapy, and solitude. Essential oils include lemon, grapefruit, juniper. The plant is carnation. The element is fire. Crystals are topaz, amber, and citrine. And the soul lesson is human and divine love. So like Ram Dass, Ram, focus on your willpower and your raison d'etre, your reason for being, and your gut. And it will give you the power that you need. So with the sun in Pisces conjunct Jupiter and Neptune, we'll say, it's 3 degrees away from Jupiter and 4 degrees on the other side, conjunct to Neptune. So we're getting super weird dreams. I know I woke up at like 2 in the morning, 1 or 2 in the morning. I even asked my fiance, is the Schumann going off? It was not. But when I say Schumann, I mean Schumann resonance. But yeah, dreams have been crazy lately, as have been noted on some of y'all's comments. They've been interesting. They haven't been bad particularly. Not like nightmares, just like kind of interesting, complicated dramatics, I guess would be the best way to put it. Interpersonal and national kind of level dramatics. Sometimes including people from my past. Most of the time, not anyone I really recognize at all. So I digress. And now with Moon in Gemini and Mercury about to leave Aquarius, but it's still in Aquarius, Venus, Mars, and Saturn in Aquarius, we have a lot of air energy, air and water. No fire, literally, 0 fire. It's either air, water, or earth right now. So hopefully you're doing what you can to stoke the fire of your willpower, the fire of your belly, the Manipura or the solar plexus chakra. Let's go ahead and pull a card and see what wants to pop. It's humid. My cards are kind of sticking. I'm realizing that I wake up and have my protein shake, but I also have some pineapple. And my God, pineapple's amazing. We've got the 10 of Wands. We lacked the fire in the general, the collective of the planets, but here it is, loud and proud in the cards. Wands are fire. If you're an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius, this is naturally going to resonate and be your suit. And 10s are the completion of a cycle, right? 10 is like the grand hurrah. 10 of Wands, as you will see, is a guy kind of overburdened with the weight of all this drama, all this fire. So 10 of Wands, lighten your load, admire the beauty surrounding you. And it is beautiful, rain or shine here. It is beautiful wherever you are. You could always find the beauty. Determination to see the situation through to the end and make one more good push. 10 of Wands, I carry the burdens of life. The 10s in Tarot represent the completion of intense cycles fraught with danger, psychologically complex, impregnated with possibilities. This card determines you have arrived at the climax of an epic odyssey. In overcoming the negative force of the mind's shadows, in the Nine of Wands, you have tenaciously given life to creative venture, realized a dream, or accomplished a major goal, and yet, as you reach the summit of this metaphorical mountain, you face possibly an even bigger challenge ahead. It ain't over, baby, till it's over. Right? It ain't over, even though it feels like it's close to the end of something. You got bigger, possibly, challenges to face ahead. You must now deal with the consequences of success and achievement. What happens when you're the creme de la creme, the top of your game? A path mirrored in so many mythological adventures where the intrepid hero arrives at the promised land, battered and beaten, only to discover that this is in fact where the real work begins, right? Star Wars A New Hope, he's like, holy shit, I blew up the Death Star, yay, I lost my mentor, but I'm still good. Then he finds Yoda, Empire Strikes Back, right? It's like, oh, it ain't over yet, bro. We are led to believe, in mountains, I lived in Colorado, and technically I'm still a resident of Colorado, false summits, false peaks, where you're like, oh, I thought I was at the top, and no, I'm not at all. We are led to believe there is some place to reach where suddenly everything will be just fine and all our problems will vanish. The fairy tale ending, right? And with Jupiter conjunct Neptune, Jupiter's conjunct the Sun and Neptune's conjunct the Sun on either side of it, we might be like, oh my gosh, it's a happy ending time. And North Node of Taurus is like, you've got work to do still, son. Mars conjunct Venus in Aquarius is like, it's time to really get into the schematics of this machine and make it work right. So we might have thought, oh, problems were going to vanish. The fairy tale ending, a Shangri-La, that if we too work hard enough or are smart enough, we can save up to build our own paradise. And property here is very cheap, and building a home, like a 3-story home, is not that much. I mean, my host was telling me that they purchased some property around here for like, I think it was like 30 to 50 grand. I forget the number, but it was like, I think it was like 50, but like a 3-story home on a river, nice house, all that. It's like, okay, but that's not the end of the story. Overwhelming evidence suggests otherwise. We have only to look at the dysfunctional and often destructive lives of countless celebrities and high achievers. We somehow believe in the formula. When this happens, when that happens, when I have this, then I'll be happy. Or when I do this, I'll be happy. The never-ending list. The very essence of this life is movement, right? We never stay still. What are we doing? With the fire of the will, we're moving. What up, Matthew? We're moving through life on this Manipur, on the solar plexus day. It's very much like Donnie Darko, if you've seen that movie. I saw it on mushrooms once in high school. That was pretty fun. I was like really tripping out on it. But the Manipur is what leads them through the time traveling. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's a really interesting drama. So sometimes, we somehow believe in the formula. When I have this, then I'll be happy. Or when I do this, then I'll be happy. The never-ending list. The very essence of life is movement. Change is the only constant. There is no continuous realm of happiness. No matter what we may achieve, life will move on, and we must still deal with the realities of our human existence. If we could accept life as an ever-shifting landscape, we will cease to crave the highs and curse the lows. That's one of the problems with addiction, where it's like, I don't want to feel bad, I want to stay high. And you kind of hit the easy button, hit the dopamine fix, or serotonin fix sometimes, and you can't maintain that. It's like, it's good to have, it's not good, but it's acceptable. Good, it's not even good or bad, it's beyond good and evil. It's part of life to have downs and lulls. It's part of life to have manias and highs and freakouts. Both come with the territory. If we could accept life as an ever-shifting landscape, like these sea of sand dunes that he's walking on, we will cease to crave the highs and curse the lows. If we understand that anything worth achieving, even great achievements, are simply stations on the journey back into the open arms of Providence, then we will not be shattered by what lies ahead. We travel station to station, which is a David Bowie allusion. This guy is all about Bowie, hence the Starman Tarot deck. He used to work with David Bowie. He's been on the podcast, not David Bowie, R.I.P. I'm a black star. But David DeAngelis, I should say, has been on the podcast a few times. Shout out. The happy ever after, it turns out, is the moment we find ourselves in now. In the artwork, we see the ancient mother tree hovering above a graffiti-strewn wall of steps. This symbolizes the effort it takes to achieve something, right? The will, the fire of the will, the Manipura. And on Woden's day, he had to get on the tree of Yggdrasil. It's talking about this ancient tree. He had to get on the world tree, the tree of Yggdrasil, and pop out an eye and sacrifice it or whatever to get his way, to get his vision. So, in the artwork, we see the ancient mother tree hovering above a graffiti-strewn wall of steps. This symbolizes the effort it takes to achieve something, to reach a goal. The twisted wands of the Starman Tarot are all gifted from the ancient mother tree, so they're a motif, an artistic motif he uses a lot. Throughout this suit, the wands flow between different roles: a flaming torch of hope, a lethal flaming weapon, an attractor for abundance, or a symbol of togetherness and stability. In this card, they take on the role of burdens that we must carry. As we look past the stooped figure, the steps that lead nowhere are repeated into the distance under the watchful gaze of a giant Starman statue. The animal skeletons which move across the sands suggest that time will erode everything. Dust in the wind. It's just kind of how it works. Even the greatest achievements of mice and men, whether it's the Statue of Liberty or the Colossus of Rhodes or whatever, like these things become past bygones, moments, no doubt, of importance. And actually, while we're in those moments, the willpower, the Manipura, the solar plexus, it's good to exercise your will creatively in the present moment for the Egyptians building the pyramids or whomever it may concern at the time. But you can't live in the past, and you can't necessarily control the future, so don't overburden yourself with that stuff. Be in the present moment. So, the skeletons, which move across the sands, suggest that time will erode everything, and the star-decorated scorpion, the sting of life, skulks behind us. So death waits for no one. No one gets out of here alive, as Jim Morrison put it. Bending to pick up the wand, this battered soul sees the astonishing beauty of a fresh rose growing up through the chain links on the ground. His hand impulsively reaches for it. He wills it, Manipura chakra. The rose offers a moment of wonder and beauty, moments filled with sadness and others with joy. The Ten of Wands invites you to cherish such moments of beauty and wonderment, precious and delicate as a flower growing in the desert. Sting has a really good song called Desert Rose. If you haven't heard it, check it out. Put down your burdens for a moment and just marvel in the miracle of it all. Life is made up of small moments. We must carry on what needs to be done, right? We have to will through, kind of Sisyphus with a smile, if you want to put it that way, with the Manipura chakra, the solar plexus. You got to just keep that funk alive, keep that fire going. Life is made up of small moments, and we must carry on what needs to be done, for the mother tree has work for us to do. And that reminds me, and not that I need much reminding, but I'm trying to do Mother Ayahuasca, a tree vine, at some point. Ten of Wands, lighten your load and admire the beauty surrounding you. Determination to see the situation through to the end. Make one more good push. It kind of reminds me a Washed Out song that's really good. It's the theme song for Portlandia, if you've ever seen that show. Feel it all around you, right? Kind of absorbing the beauty of the moment and really appreciating it. It's a very kind of surreal pop. You'd like it if you haven't heard it. And Achilles' Last Stand by Led Zeppelin, right? It's a very intense thing, but it's like, yo, you got to make that one final push. Push on through to the morning. Sometimes we don't feel like we have the juice to do it, but we do. Uh-oh. No, the fan wasn't on. I was like, did I just have a brownout? Sometimes there's been one or two brownouts and I've lost connection and everything. It's like, well, do I have to start this over? Nay. So, Manipura Chakra Day. Let's get a clarifying card. Hopefully you're all doing well wherever you are. You, whoever you are, I want to thank you. Whoever you are, all I want to do is to thank you, even though I don't know who you are. Three of Cups is the clarifier. So, the Three of Cups is really this very celebratory elixir of life, clanking the cups and saying, we are the champions kind of vibes. Cups are for Cancers, Scorpios, and Pisces. It is your suit, if you did not know that. Cups represent emotion, sexuality, creativity. The essence of life in liquid form, right? Three of Cups is I am here to be celebrated, right? And we are the champions happens after you push through all the you've seen the March Madness kind of brackets or Mortal Kombat if you've ever played a game like that where it's like, oh my god, I got to go all the way up to the Goro. This is crazy. And you push, Ten of Wands. You use your willpower to do it. Champions aren't born, they're made, right? So you have to go through the power process of refinement, the refiner's fire, the Manipura fire, and Three of Cups is the clarifier. It's about connecting with the energy of shared celebration, which is very Mercury, Venus conjunct Mars in Aquarius, Saturn. It's like, yo, we're in this dream together, we're making it work. So connecting with the shared energy of celebration, raising your vibrations with others, and enjoying the moment with friends, a satisfying communion. It's really one of the most celebratory and positive cards. Not that there's good cards and bad cards. Like one could say, "Oh my gosh, this is so heavy." It's like it's just saying you've taken on you're trying to blow out 100 candles at once. Bilbo Baggins or whatever on his 111th birthday or whatever the fuck it is. It's like just make one big candle symbolic of this. You don't have to tend millions of fires, but if you do have lots of fires going, include others and make it a fun time. What up, Teresa? What up, Lyndon? So we have the ability to push through, break on through to the other side of what weariness, overwhelm, overcommitment. It's the end of kind of, at worst, over spreading oneself too thin. You're going to maybe have to drop some of these wands and climb up the staircase to get to the top with the most important wands. But in order to do that, really kind of celebrating life, taking in the beauty, appreciating yourself and others, knowing that you're worth it, that every step of this journey in the desert you've asked for. Never feel like a victim, even though it's easy to do. Trust me, I know. But what we're able to do is to conjure up like this witch. Yeah, it's a witch. Conjure up this magical elixir to, it's almost like Viagra of the soul, right? Where it's like, okay, we can get through this. But we have to put a positive spin on it. Have the cup half full. It is what it is. And with Pisces Sun conjunct Jupiter on one side and Pisces Sun conjunct the Sun and Neptune on the other, we can drink these three cups. That's three water signs, Sun, Jupiter, Neptune, one for each cup. And everything else is air, right? The arid desert of this card, where our willpower, the Manipura, solar plexus is our flame. And we're like, oh my gosh, my flame it's almost out. I don't know if I can do this. We can do this. Even in gale force winds, the candle won't go out. When you die, that's when your contract's up. Until you're dead, you're here to do work. So we've got number 42, dolphin. And I should say, there's a fish pond right by here yesterday, and I was working, and the guy I was working with was like, come here, check this out, in Spanish. I'm trying to think of the word, tiburon. There's two baby sharks, or two miniature sharks in this fucking pool of water. I was like, what the fuck? So anyway, not that this is a shark. This is a dolphin, our friend in the waters. Very close brain. I think they have a bigger brain than us. We're about to read about it. But I actually read right before I came here, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I wasn't about to read all the books because I didn't care that much for it. It was okay. The movie's okay. But 42, the life to the meaning of the universe and everything. Dolphin is happiness. And happiness is what? A warm gun. When your solar plexus is on fire, when you've got the heat of life moving you through every changing moment, even though you can go, oh my gosh, I've got so many fires burning, I don't know what to do, 10 of Wands. Be grateful and clank your glass and sing We Are the Champions with yourself internally, me, myself, and I, and others around you. And you'll find what? Happiness, regardless of your situation. Happiness, dolphin. Happiness is not a continuous state, right? That's exactly what the 10 of Wands is saying. You can't even, this is what addiction and unhappiness comes from when we try to will. The negative part of the solar plexus is, right, feeling inferior, over-analyzing, sarcasm, pessimism. If you're like, why am I not happy all the time? Why don't I have endorphins rushing all the time? That's a state of mind you can engender, and it's nice when it happens, but just like a wave in the ocean, you can't always be on the wave. Sometimes there's dead spots or whatever. So happiness, like it was saying in the 10 of Wands, is not a continuous state. Neither is disappointment or fear or any of these things. Happiness is not a continuous state, although it is a worthy feeling to seek. So happiness isn't bad by any means. Know what makes you happy and do more of this. Happiness has everything to do with your reaction to life, right? How are you reacting in the gut to life, rather than what happens to you from outside sources. So even though you might feel like you're overburdened and in the desert, 10 of Wands, and you're like, oh my gosh, I have one more push in me. It's like, if you actually kind of go into the holy grail of your kundalini, elixir, you'll find the happiness, Three of Cups, regardless of the situation. If you place your happiness solely in the hands of other people, then you will be disappointed. That's kind of a life lesson. It's like people will disappoint you. Situations will disappoint you. It just kind of is part of perceptual reality and expectational reality and desire. That's why Buddha said desire and expectation are kind of the roots of suffering. Mythos. The goddess Yamaya began as an Orisha, a spirit of rivers and watery places in Africa. This is some Jupiter conjunct Sun, Sun conjunct Neptune and Pisces vibes. When her waters broke, all the waters of the world were released. So her realm is the water, whether by the sea or river. Yamaya slips between the waves, fish-tailed like a mermaid playing between the waves with moonlight woven within her hair. She's the mother of all and the nourishing and life-giving power of water, right? And water, for better or worse, is where we get our life. Our life vita, our vital force comes from hydration. Hydrate. Hashtag hydrate. As her people were taken upon the slave boats to faraway lands, they still honored Yamaya in the bellies of the dark, dank, death-stalked vessels, right? They still found time to basically be grateful and appreciative of the Three of Cups, the water of Yamaya, in spite of the fact that they were on slave ships and they felt overburdened in a dry, strangers in a strange land with no hope. It's a choice. And we get stuck in a traffic light and go, oh my gosh, this is so long. It's like, can you imagine being in a death vessel, being shipped from your country to God knows where for not good reasons? It's hard to be happy during that. She heard their desperate pleas. This is Yamaya, the goddess of water. She heard their desperate pleas, for she was a goddess of hope, which really is one of the main themes of the clarifying card, the Three of Cups, where it's like there's hope and celebration no matter what. Always a silver lining. She heard their desperate pleas, for she was a goddess of hope, and she came with her dolphins and swam alongside the ships, keeping track of where the people were. When there were storms or high seas and boats were shipwrecked, it was Yamaya who saved the people by reducing the waves or showing them where land or other boats were. Many saw her in the moonlight, waving to them and showing them where to swim. Sometimes she sent her dolphins to swim by and support those who could no longer swim, right? 10 of Wands, overburdened. Bringing them close to shore or to some floating object from which they could get support. The people thanked her and told their children of her, and today Yamaya and her dolphins still look after the people by granting them hope, happiness, and wishes. Very Three of Cups. Wishes, Sun conjunct Jupiter and Pisces. Wherever dolphins have been seen, a story has been crafted about them. The ancient Greeks with their mythos around boys riding dolphins, and Poseidon, the sea god able to transform or control them, are probably the best known. Other seafaring nations, such as the Polynesians, have stories mentioning the magic of dolphins. The animal. In ancient times, the spotting of a dolphin at sea was considered to be good luck. And seafaring peoples saw dolphins as allies and bearers of goodwill. Today, millennia later, seeing a dolphin in the wild hurtle itself out of the sea, breaching through the water at the side of your craft, or surfing down the face of a glassy green wave alongside you is still an experience that moves us to joy. There are more than 40 members of the dolphin family, from large killer whales to the tiny Maui's dolphin, and new species are being discovered all the time. For example, the spinner dolphin was confirmed late 2012 in Western Australia, and that's like discovery, finding new things out about reality. Venus, Mars, conjunct Aquarius. Saturn in Aquarius, Mercury in Aquarius, the last degree. So it's like, oh wow, we're actually exploring and discovering ingenious things about reality. Dolphins are extremely streamlined and very fast in the water. They're engineered, right, for water. They are not fish, but are mammals, giving birth to live young. They breathe through a blowhole in the top of their head only, and not through their mouths at all. Dolphins have strong social bonds, very Mercury in Aquarius, and live in social groups called pods, Venus, Mars, conjunct in Aquarius. They communicate with a vast variety of clicks and sounds to each other and cooperate together to hunt and care for their young. Dolphins have been observed staying with and assisting sick and injured members of their pod. They have also been observed assisting struggling humans in the sea by keeping them afloat or protecting them from sharks. And I just said there's 2 baby sharks in a pond right outside of me. Dolphins are highly intelligent and have large, complex brains with 2 hemispheres that work independently of each other, Saturn and Aquarius. For example, they sleep with one side of the brain in slow wave which enables them to be conscious enough to breathe and to scan for threats at the same time. Their brains are also powerful interpreters of the echolocation they use, which is sounded through the smiling lower jaw. Their teeth are shaped to receive incoming sound signals so they can quickly perceive with amazing accuracy where objects are. If you ever swim with wild dolphins, you can hear the many clicks, like clicking noises, they send towards you to check you out, right? They want to play. They want to have fun. Three of Cups is a clarifier. Even if you're drowning off of a broken down Amistad slave ship, right? They're like, oh, we're here to help. We're here to have fun. Some scientists have called for species... dolphins are one of the few animals that use tools, utilizing sponges and sticks to find food, which is a characteristic once only thought to be attributed to primates and humans. So they're much more intelligent than we give them credit for. And if you've ever seen the documentary about Japan called The Cove, horrifying, we should stop doing that shit. Some scientists have called for special rights to be given to dolphins as non-human persons because of their high levels of intelligence and want it made illegal to kill or make them captive in any way. Dolphins have few wild enemies, however, humans aren't inflicting great damage, right? We're the thorn in their side, essentially. 10 of Wands. The magic. See that curved smile on the dolphin's face? That will give you a hint about their magic. When you feel tired and world-weary, right? When you're burdened down, when you're downtrodden, when you need a pick-me-up, that pick-me-up being the Three of Cups, and when you need to revivify your willpower, when you've forgotten what it is like to play with friends in an easy way, Three of Cups, or just to run free, call in some dolphin magic to remind you. The joyful magic has been used since ancient times, and dolphins have always been seen as being an exceptional creature with happy intelligence that has been benevolent for humankind. Symbology is Poseidon's trident, 2 leaping dolphins, like flipper style, women or boys riding dolphins, dolphins in ships, shells with dolphins painted on them. Their status ranges from least concerned to critically endangered depending upon the species that we're talking about. So we can tap into happiness, right? Happiness is a warm gun, like I was saying, a Beatles kind of quote. The Manipura, the chakra of the day, the solar plexus, is the soul's engine, I guess you could put it in a sense. It's what drives us to want to be. When you're depressed, that's what's going on. Your heart, your mind can be depressed, but like usually if you don't have energy, you're not fueling your fire. So with the 10 of Wands as the card today, with all this air energy in Aquarius and Neptunian energy with the Sun, Neptune and Jupiter in Pisces, Jupiter and the Sun conjunct Neptune and the Sun conjunct in Pisces, our dreams we're not even getting rest in our sleep. It's like, when is this going to end? When are these rumors and wars and rumors of wars going to end? In the book of Revelation, it talks about there being wars and rumors of wars, and oil will go up to a day's wages and all sorts of shit. It's like, y'all, we're in an apocalypse. Don't think it's not. But that doesn't mean we have to be all like, oh my God, it's over. It's like, oh my God, it's just beginning. We've never actually had the pleasure of being fully immersed in nature and reality to the degree that we're designed to. In a sense, it's all good. We've kind of progressed, but we've gone down a track of thinking with culture and society and humanity that we don't have to keep doing war. We don't have to keep doing exploitation of the environment. We don't have to keep on doing the things that kind of make life unhappy for everyone, right? He's like, oh my God, I've done too much. I've got oil wells in Iraq and Texas and everything, and I'm rich as fuck, but I don't know what to do with all this money and all this, and it's just dry. I don't have any real friends. What we need to do is find people that value us and go to the top with them and take the 1 or 2 wands that are our special gifts and the things we're willing to go to the mat for, right? That's where your happiness resides. If you have it's not bad to have your finger in a million pies, but most people aren't capable of doing that and they burn out. And they go, oh my gosh, I got to balance the checkbook. Oh my gosh, I've got 5 kids screaming for attention. Oh my gosh, I've got to love my spouse. Oh my gosh, the news. Oh my gosh, right? And we get overburdened. We have too many candles burning at both ends. And in order to kind of revivify ourselves, we need to create a potion of what? Luck, like the Felix Felicis potion or whatever it's called in Harry Potter. We need to get that 3 of Cups and drink deep from it. That's the happiness. The source of happiness is a choice. That's your willpower. How are you orienting your will in this matrix? So let's go ahead and get an I Ching card, a hexagram. I read these every day with my fiance because they correspond exactly to the gene keys And Richard Rudd has been on the podcast. Shout out. He's a Virgo stellium. So, of course, he's going to do some health-related thing. But what we've got today is 37. I don't know which the one this is, but it's a gang of people. Mr. Abukar, this isn't personal readings. You can hit me up. I'll leave a link in the personal for the personal readings. This is a collective reading for everybody, including myself for the day. I'm in Costa Rica. A lot of my friends and followers are in Australia, America, Europe, possibly elsewhere, clearly. So no, but don't take that personally. I'm not pulling cards for uno personas, one person at a time. I'm doing collective reading. So 37, the hexagram is as follows. Kinship, right? With Venus and Mars conjunct in Aquarius, with Saturn in Aquarius, Mercury in the last degree of Aquarius. This is about the gang, the royal we. There's a gang, a pod, right? A pod of, even a gang of wands, like too many possibly, but a gang of people you're drinking deep with. This is kinship, and my last name is Kincaid, so it's kind of even relevant to me personally. The family is the archetype of the social community and a reflection of society. In a healthy family, the needs of each person are just as important as those of the group. One for all and all for one kind of vibes. This goes for all the other groups as well. Trust and mutual acceptance must form an effective counterbalance to the authority of the person who leads. This sign is an invitation for you to recognize your own role in the group. North Node and Taurus, how are you individually contributing value to this? Sorry, this little dog is kind of a guard dog, and kids are walking by for school. It is 6 a.m., 6:38 a.m. here in Costa Rica, but kids are getting on the bus. Ask yourself this is a sign as an invitation for you to recognize your own role in the group, family, or relationship, and to fulfill it to the utmost, right? To take the biggest goblet and drink deep from it. 3 of Cups. You're near the end. Push on through. The card of the day, 10 of Wands. You don't give up. And what happens if you don't give up? You find happiness. Ideally, we find happiness even if we're Sisyphus pushing up the rock. But that's ideally. It's kind of trickier than said than done. Or easier said than done. Ask yourself honestly whether openness, trust, and mutual support rule your relationships. Express your feelings freely and openly and set a good example by living according to the group's ideals. That is very Moon in Gemini. Very playful. I have been neglecting that. Moon in Gemini is very dolphin energy, right? Where it's like, hey, am I having fun? Hey, is my inner child feeling this? If you're not feeling kinship, Saturn, Mars, conjunct Venus in Aquarius, if you're not feeling like, you don't even, even Grumpy in the Seven Dwarfs knows he's one of the seven. He's not, even though he's more of a loner and kind of angry or whatever, it's like he's still part of a gang. He's still part of a kid. If you aren't getting along ultimately with the human race or your neighbors or yourself internally, kind of like Inside Out, Disney's Inside Out, you got some work to do, and that's okay. So let's get a crystal card, and then I will scooch on. Hopefully you all are enjoying this. If you do, like it, share it if you feel so inclined. Tag some friends. They could always benefit from the wisdom, dare I say. Whoa. We've got Obsidian. You can quantumly entangle with this. You don't have to own it. But, hey, if you own it, more power to you. You rock hound you. North Node and Taurus. Obsidian. What it is. Obsidian is a black volcanic glass, and I'm about 8 miles from, actually, there's a chain of volcanoes. That's Costa Rica's on the Ring of Fire. So, volcanic, name of the game here. Obsidian is a black volcanic glass. Before the internet, before AI, before kitten food delivering drones, like way back, early Homo sapiens were getting it done with obsidian tools, right? That is how we fashioned our will in nature, Manipura chakra, and kept our kinship safe, made it so we had happy days from saber-toothed tigers or, enemies at the gate or whatever. And we sharpened these tools and basically made use of the elements around us. Capable of holding an extremely sharp edge, obsidian scalpels are used in surgeries to this day. I didn't know that. Who needs it? Anyone looking to cut out negative people and patterns from their lives, Scorpios, right? If you're not feeling joy, right? It was saying in your kinship, if you're feeling kind of like the odd one out, or you're just not resonating with your crew, use that scalpel, cut it out. In a sense, you want to be gracious and bless everything, right? Bring happiness and joy and Three of Cups to every relationship, but not everybody's going to jam on the same wave as you, like a dolphin. So, dolphins and sharks are in the same ocean, but they don't hang out together. It's okay. But they respect each other, I imagine, in some grander sense. Where to put it? In your pocket, like a concealed weapon against bad vibes. When to use it? When thinking positively seems out of the question, right? So if all this talking of joy and overflow and source from the center being positive is just not making any sense or not resonating, it's like, use this on yourself. When thinking positively seems out of the question, when dark forces are at work, World War III wannabe stuff, dig in, arm yourself with obsidian, and throttle back. This is protect your soul. And that's a choice, right? That's a volitional choice. The will. Volition comes from the root word will. I forget German now, but that's where it's coming from, or Latin, or whatever I was thinking. But we have the choice where to put our energy. And sometimes we need to defend ourselves and cut cords. That's how we keep our tribe strong, our kinship strong. You can't just befriend everybody, or else you'll be overburdened. Ten of Wands, the card of the day. You can't take on everything. You can't take on every project. You can't take on every relationship. You can't make everybody happy, right? You need to start with your happiness, Dolphin card, and then bring it to your immediate surroundings, like your crew, your family, like who's around you immediately, right? Three of Cups. And then the world, the human race, and then galactic, right? Whatever. But there are times to create boundaries, right? Yoda and Obi-Wan, when spoiler, semi-spoiler, when Darth Vader, Anakin rises to power and wipes out all the Jedi, they dip, man. They cut and run. They go to Tatooine and Dagobah and chill out for like 30 years or whatever it is. 50 years, probably like 30 years, because, well, no, 18 years, let's just say, because I guess that's Luke is born and Leia is born. But they had to dip out. This even is like obsidian black, like Darth Vader. They had to look out. And then they restored the kinship with the Jedi clan. And then they took their lightsabers and climbed to the Death Star and did all their stuff. And then they found their happiness with the Force. And then they celebrated with the Ewoks, right? So it's all a matter of timing. The book of changes, i.e. life, is always changing around us, and what we really have control over is our willpower at some level. You'd be surprised how much you do that you wouldn't like think you're capable of doing, or, you know, oh my gosh, I did what I didn't want to do, and I'm not doing what I want to do. But tend your fire, tend your solar plexus, take deep dragon breaths, right? Get your gut strong. Cut out the bullshit in yourself and don't tolerate it from others. Kindly. Kindness. K-I-N. D-O-I-K-I-N, ship. So do it with love and compassion, because you don't want to burn yourself out or others. You want to be happy kind of in any situation, and ultimately celebratory in the situation you find yourself in at the present moment, which is exactly where you've manifested to be. There are no mistakes. There are no victims. It's all good. So if you've enjoyed this, like I said, like it, subscribe to the YouTube channel, or, you know, follow me on Facebook or whatever. I make a lot of posts about other things, but I do this every day on Facebook Live and YouTube. Check out the Team Rabbit Hole podcast. The artist of this deck, right? David DeAngelis, he's been on a few times. The author of the Gene Keys, great book, which corresponds to the I Ching and human design. Richard Rudd, he's been on. All sorts of cool people have been on. We've got 270 episodes. If you want to come on and shoot the shit, you don't have to be famous or anything like that. We talk to anybody and everybody. It's gang. It's very Venus conjunct Mars in Aquarius. Moon in Gemini, talking about fun things and talking about magic and why you're here and what you're doing. So check out the podcast. Holler for readings, $33 for an hour of cards, $88 for 3 hours of astrology, $111 for both. 5 stars only, so you can't go wrong. Gift it to yourself, gift it to others. It'll make you happy. It'll help you cut out the bullshit and see what you're, how to be happy in this world. I'm not like the answer, but in a sense I can point you to your answer. And let me think what else. I think I said everything. So yeah, I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Hopefully you enjoy your Woden's Day, your Wednesday. Adios, muchachos. Bye. Boop, boop.